So Nike finally released their trailer for Caitlin Clark's sneaker. They finally...
At long last, after months of watching Nike mishandle their most valuable asset, they finally made a move that actually makes sense. Caitlin Clark just got the spotlight she's earned, her very own commercial. And wow, the haters are absolutely unraveling. The outrage is palpable, keyboards are on fire, and the salt is so thick it could give the Dead Sea a run for its money.
Already, I'm pretty sure you have. Nike has released a new Caitlin Clark commercial, and they made it their business to show love and show out for none other than CC. Now, we know fans has definitely been in odds with the company ever since signing Caitlin Clark. A lot of people feel as if they put Caitlin Clark on the back burner. I don't know, man. I'm a Nike fan. I know a lot of people going to disagree with me on this, but I think Nike was strategic with their growth. People could be mad about it or feel whatever way they feel about it. But one thing I can tell you is that I feel as if they were strategic.
Nike just released that Coop commercial for Caitlin Clark's new PE sneakers. And it feels like they finally remembered why they signed the most electrifying player in the game. This is the woman who pulled women's basketball into the spotlight by sheer force of will, packing arenas like she's handing out cash. Now, she finally has an ad that matches her fire. And the critics? They're absolutely livid.
Clark and Nike are officially dropping Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever player-exclusive Kobe 5s in just a couple weeks. So this shoe was first seen being worn by Caitlin and was thought to be a colorway made just for her up until just a couple days ago, where Nike's official images of the shoes got leaked and the announcement was made saying that everyone will now have a chance to...
Let's talk about what Nike just dropped, because this isn't just a commercial, it's a declaration. When Caitlin Clark takes that seat, laces up those Kobe 5s, and her eyes shift into those sharp, snake-like slits, channeling Kobe's Mamba mentality, Nike isn't whispering, they're shouting. This is the face of the league. The visual effects? Flawless. The cinematography? Top tier. The whole vibe screams excellence. This is the kind of treatment reserved for icons, not the second-rate scraps women's basketball has been fed for far too long.
We got something for Caitlin. We got Mamba Caitlin. We got Mamba Caitlin. Where is the Mamba Caitlin? There we go. We have the Mamba logo. We have Caitlin on demon time right now. But yeah, it's good to note that they finally announced it as a Caitlin logo. Or sorry.
And right on cue, the usual suspects come crawling out of their caves. Why is she getting all this attention? What about the other players? It's too much for a second-year pro. The same tired chorus that's been whining since the moment Caitlin Clark stepped onto a W court. But let's be real, they're not confused. They're just unwilling to face the truth. Caitlin Clark is the face of women's basketball, and Nike finally had the guts to market her like it.
Now, people felt the type of way, about Caitlin Clark getting these PE shoes. A lot of people felt as if she should have her own signature shoe, which she should. She very should. But guys, I don't think there's any player that got a Kobe PE, bro. Like, do y'all know who Kobe was in the basketball world, bro? I'm just saying, like, Kobe didn't allow, even his family, I'm pretty sure, is not just going to give his signature shoe to just anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, other NBA players ain't even.
You know what the best part is? Those sneakers sold out in 5 minutes. 5. People were glued to the Nike SNKRS app like it was a Travis Scott drop. That $190 retail price, gone before most could even hit refresh. Within 2 hours, they were already flipping on eBay for $375. And by day's end, StockX had the average listing at $365, with some pairs hitting $800. That's not hype. That's the Caitlin Clark effect. Real demand, real impact. No marketing illusion needed.
These things is some fire. I'm telling you, where there's smoke, there is fire, and these things is hitting so hard. And who got a bot? Who a shoe plug? Because I need 2 pairs. I need one for the sneaker wall, and I need one for my feet, because these things is hitting right here, and no, I don't want to pay $600 on.
If you're enjoying this, go ahead and subscribe. Meanwhile, the critics are seething because Nike finally acknowledged what the numbers have been shouting for over a year. Caitlin Clark is a driving force behind a historic surge in WNBA viewership. The league averaged 657,000 viewers per game, the highest in 24 years, and 19 of the 22 games that broke 1 million viewers, they featured Caitlin and the Indiana Fever. She didn't just move the needle, she shattered it and sent it into orbit. But let's address the elephant in the room that is everyone in a twist. For months, Nike took heat for dragging their feet on Caitlin while spotlighting Aya Wilson's signature shoe.
So it's finally here. Caitlin Clark sneakers from Nike is finally dropping. She was signed to them last year, and the sneakers is a year late in my opinion, but nonetheless, I'm excited because these sneakers is finally coming out. But what does annoy me a little bit is that this is a collaboration with Kobe. Now, Kobe, respect to Kobe, the legend, rest in peace, great basketball player. But in my opinion, Caitlin Clark is a big enough star and she's creating her own legacy. So I feel like, at least for her first sneaker, it shouldn't be a collaboration with any other player, dead or alive, in my opinion. I feel like Caitlin should have, for her first shoe, had her own original design just for her.
The Aya versus Caitlin discourse spiraled into toxicity fast, with people twisting it into everything but what it actually was: business. Nike was getting roasted, even by its own alumni. Jordan Rogers, a 15-year Nike veteran, publicly called him out for slow playing the biggest needle mover in American sports since Michael Jordan. And he wasn't wrong. The backlash hit a fever pitch when Aya Wilson revealed she'd known about her Nike signature deal for 2 years, yet play it like she was being sidelined when Caitlin's contract went public. The tweets, the subtweets, the passive-aggressive jabs, all while sitting on a shoe deal she kept under wraps. Talk about manufactured drama. But that's what happens when you got a player who transcends a sport, and certain corners of the internet just can't handle it.
Your stock price since 2021, it is down nearly 60%. Your executives and the people who are making these decisions, their stock options are worthless. Meanwhile, you have the single biggest needle mover in all of American sports since Michael Jordan, and you have somehow convinced yourself that you need to slow play this. Let me show you Google Trends search traffic for 4 female basketball players. There is one who only rivals Caitlin Clark, and that is Angel Reese, and you do not have her. She is over at Reebok. I am so confused as to how you would be so invested in the WNBA for several years, and you have been doing great work to try to elevate and uplift that league and many of the athletes there. But this seems like you have convinced yourself that this needs to be an either-or conversation. And we never have an either-or conversation in the men's sports. You have like 10 signature athletes. Half of them don't deserve a signature.
Now, Nike has finally course-corrected, and they're going all in on their most valuable asset. That Kobe commercial isn't just another marketing push. It's Nike finally recognizing what's been in front of them all along. Caitlin Clark isn't just another WNBA player to slot into a generic campaign. She's a cultural force, the kind that draws in families, kids, men who've never watched a women's game, and casual fans who suddenly turn diehard. She's not just playing the league. She's expanding its entire universe. The ad connects her to Kobe's legacy in a way that feels earned, not manufactured. She's been wearing codes since college, calling them her magic shoes, her babies. So when she channels that Mamba mentality in the spot, it doesn't feel like cosplay. It feels like recognition, a nod to a kindred spirit. Kobe would have loved this connection. A player with the same obsessive drive, the same killer instinct, and the same rare ability to elevate everyone around them.
The long-awaited, highly anticipated Caitlin Clark player exclusive, not her signature shoe. Remember, they're not creative enough to think of that. But that should be coming out in a few months as well. But the player exclusive, they're starting to give it the push. This is the rollout. We got a clothing line coming before the holidays. Let's see how many resources Nike puts behind Caitlin Clark now that we're going to start getting some of her merchandise coming out, and fans are in.
But here's what really has the haters press. Nike is finally treating Caitlin Clark like the A-side she's always been. Not a co-headliner, not a supporting act, but the main event. Her signature shoe is reportedly dropping later this year, and it's poised to shatter every record in women's sports marketing. That Nike's full-throttle backing of Clark marks a fundamental shift in decades of sports marketing tradition. For far too long, women's sports have been treated as secondary, reflecting the fact that only 0.4% of total sports sponsorship dollars go to women's athletics. But by positioning Clark at the center of flagship campaigns, including Nike's first Super Bowl ad in nearly 30 years, the brand is sending a clear message. Female athletes can carry marquee campaigns and deliver elite-level returns. That $28 million 8-year deal, it's starting to look like the bargain of the century. The most lucrative endorsement contract in women's basketball history isn't just a win for Caitlin. It's a market signal. It says women's basketball has reached a new era of commercial power, one worthy of real, sustained investment. And it's challenging every other brand to catch up or get left behind.
You finally put her in a Super Bowl campaign with 9 other women, and all respect to them, but none of them are moving the needle quite like she is. Your tagline in that was "You can't win, so win." One of the best explanations I can come up with is that you are wringing your hands and afraid to enter into this politically divisive conversation that has been co-opted by the media and pundits who are race baiting and doing all kinds of ridiculous things around women's basketball. You can't win, so win. You have the unicorn, the chosen one, the one who everyone wants to hear from, and you were just sitting around Gatorade, State Farm, Gainbridge, Wilson Basketball, have all figured out how to have a point of view with Caitlin Clark. Please, for the love of God, figure